Last time, on the lands that make us.
Let's see what these thieves have to say.
If I could remind everyone here that we have a play to attend.
A lot of folks have definitely seen them here before, clamoring for the Summar Sisters. This is their final show.
Final show?
Autumn has taken a leading role with the Grand Opera in Prague. Her sisters didn't get it.
So they're splitting up the company.
A tragedy, to be sure. Now to introduce the Summar Sisters, the Grand Mage of Netter's Ralley, Maris, Aoife, Freewin. Sherrilyn, I cannot explain to you how closely this woman resembles your mother.
I've met Aoife before, but the resemblance, that's not just me, right?
The mechanisms is creating this beautiful, sparkling display around them as they climb. You realize that they do not have the capacity to fly. The one thing that catches your attention is the sheer look of panic spread across her face. You hear gasps come from both of her sisters as you watch Autumn fall. As you watch her, and you watch the wings particularly, there's this large display of leaves spread around her, but the one thing that catches your attention, even with a 9, is the sheer look of panic spread across her face. As a moment goes by, and you see her wings no longer float, as with a light, they lock into place, and very, very quickly she begins to free fall directly to the stage. You hear gasps come from both of her sisters. The Archmage floats up from her chair in an attempt to catch her, but she's not quick enough at all. As you watch Autumn fall directly to the ground and hear her bones break, the crowd is aghast. Everyone stands. There's a silence. The Archmage lands next to her. She attempts some magic, kind of flows out of her, but nothing happens. Autumn is lifeless. Her two sisters land next to her. They kind of cover their faces a bit. Aoife yells, "Pull the curtain! Quickly!" And the curtain begins to close. The crowd is chaotic. What do we all do?
In the chaos, Sherrilyn will have risen from her chair. She's going to grab onto Leilani's hand, and then she's going to start running towards the staircase on the side of the stage to try and get in there.
Yeah, Leilani will take you hand in hand. She looks a little bit shocked and a little like confused as she follows you. So are you just running backstage?
Yes, she and Leilani will sprint up the short staircase, and Sherrilyn will part the curtain on the end, and they'll slip through.
Yeah, you see Aoife still over the body, Perola on the other side, the two sisters kind of standing, mouth agape, their hands kind of covered, looking down. Roll me an insight check.
All right, another one. 15.
15. As you look across the stage here, the emotions that you take in are shock from the Archmage. Perola has just disbelief filling him to the look. One of the sisters looks like she's deep in thought. And then the other sister she's looking at the body on the ground and looking at her sister. And she's like just looking between the two of them. And her mouth agape. Those are the only people available backstage at this moment. You see Aoife turn to you. Why did you follow me?
My God, woman, someone just fell and perished on stage.
Do you think you can help?
She looks at Leilani and kind of shrugs. I can certainly offer my services.
Maybe get them into separate rooms so they can calm down. Obviously, this was tragic. I will look over the body.
Do the herons, the ones that are alive, do they still look very similar?
They look identical to the corpse. They really can't see anything that would separate them as you look at them and the corpse.
Sherrilyn waggles a finger. Yes, I will take Winter, she says a little louder.
They look at each other for a second, and then the one further up raises her hand.
Yes, good, you. Yes. Allow me to take you to your chambers.
She kind of nods.
My goodness, you are tall for a bird.
I get that a lot. As you walk up with her, she kind of like takes your arm. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble standing.
Sherrilyn pops out her elbow so that she may take her arm.
Leilani goes and takes the arm of the other of Spring. Come here, I will take you to your room. Which way is it? It's that way. As you're walking, okay, the whole Frost Fellows gang is in my dressing room. Is it okay if I just wait outside? I don't really want to talk to them right now.
What is the Frost Fellows gang?
They're like a big group of groupies that I keep. She looks like a very neutral expression.
I see. And your room, it's this one here, yes?
Did Sherrilyn run backstage?
Inara sighs in response. I guess we're involved again, and heaves up to follow.
She certainly has a knack for this.
Is the theater emptying out around us, or are people staying in their seats?
The ushers are escorting everybody out of the theater.
I think we're going to have to sort of fight against the current if we want to sneak our way backstage. I'm assuming, I look at Inara and Francis, that's what we're doing?
Oh, we certainly can't leave her alone.
Yeah, we can't leave those two back there.
Oh, you almost said it at the same time. All right, follow me then. I will move through the crowd in the opposite direction and lead a path for us to kind of try and sneak up backstage to get to where Sherrilyn disappeared.
You can either roll a stealth check at advantage here to avoid the sight of the ushers and the folks kind of trying to get the audience out under Aoife's command, or you can all do a stealth check and we can average it. It's up to you all.
How stealthy is everyone feeling?
And Inara's a cat, so that's the one thing she's got going for her is stealth.
Francis got a good +2 to it.
I have a +4. Let's do a group one. I think that's more fun. As we Scooby-Doo sneak our way up.
What could possibly go wrong?
Oh, nice. 21 for Inara.
Don't your famous last words meet with that what could possibly
11
shit.
+2 for 13.
12 plus 4 for 16.
You all find perfect opportunities to walk through and make your way through the crowd to the front row, kind of hopping over chairs at certain points, following the crowd at certain points, avoiding the ushers, kind of timing it well, making it to the pit with no eyes on you whatsoever as you cross over to the stage. Are you all just going underneath the curtain?
Yeah, I think it would be funny if Plato he shimmies up with his back to the curtain and then waits for the ushers to look around and then goes, go, 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 go. And you just see Inara, like a cat, going under
Slink under the curtain.
Okay, Francis, you next.
Francis very just less dignifully just gets on his stomach and rolls under.
Plato ducks his head, smiles at one usher, and as soon as it turns his back, also sort of gets his butt on the stage and scoots backwards between the curtains.
You all make it under the curtains with ease, being unseen. As soon as you make it under, though, you do be seen. You are seen.
We do be seen.
You do be seen by Prola, the pelican Aarakocra, who quickly goes, "Hey, y'all can't be back here. Something tragic has happened. You all can't just look at this."
Believe me, we're not here to gawk at your misery.
Hello, sorry. We lost an elf.
And a cat.
You see the arcane eye kind of that's sweeping and looking over the body back and forth, sweep to you all for a second or two. And then back. "What are your credentials?" she yells to you all.
Credentials? Where is Sherrilyn?
Sherrilyn, we cut to you. Yes, just right here on this bench outside of my room is perfect.
I was actually going to suggest, was this Autumn's room?
Autumn's room is to the left here.
Yes, let's go over there. That seems much more comfortable.
I'm sure there's people in there.
Oh, I really don't think so.
I'm certain that there are.
How about I tell them to vacate, and I will be back directly. One moment.
Okay. I'm just gonna. You see her kind of hide.
You wait. Yes, wait right there.
You see her kind of crouch down and hide.
She's not going to knock. She's just going to open the door to Autumn's room.
Yeah, you see two people engaged in conversation. One of them dressed in traditional butler fare, one of them dressed in beautiful, well-stitched robes. They look not necessarily royal, but wealthy for sure at first glance. They seem in kind of whispered conversation, very kindly at a table, sort of on a couch, eating some fruit as you kind of bust in.
Pardon me. I didn't realize this room was in use, considering the circumstances.
What circumstances? They kind of the one in robes kind of stands at attention.
Oh, right. Yes, you should go check on Madame Autumn.
My fiance? What's happened?
Fiance. That's interesting. She steps in and closes the door most of the way behind her. Who are you?
My name is Sheena Richter of House Richter. They do a very polite bow. This is Autumn's butler, Uriel Witten. How do you do? He does a very deep bow.
Sherrilyn goes to bow and then realizes it would be more proper to curtsy and address, and so she does so, awkwardly. How did you two meet, if you don't mind me asking?
You see a blush kind of come to their face, overtaking Sheena's darker complexion, filling their cheeks with this red hue. Well, I caught the Summar Sisters show when they were touring in Breg, and it was love at first sight. Once I caught sight of Autumn, I couldn't take my eyes off of her. I kept coming to each show, more and more elaborate displays of love, until I finally realized that's not what she wanted. She just wanted small things. It took a long time, but I courted her, and now she loves me so truly. Our wedding is to be soon in Breg.
Are you from Breg?
Yes, but I've traveled all over. You're familiar with Victor House. Where are you? Where are you from? You see their robes are golden with a big sigil, a symbol of an open hand carrying a scroll, almost like delivering it.
I am a far traveler.
Well, my family is the family of open doors. We are the delivery system for the whole of Perian. We are responsible for the skilled order of couriers and conveyors. Movement across the country proper.
Sherrilyn is looking around the room as they are talking about themselves and their family, looking for costume pieces or something that would have been used in the performance tonight.
I will say very obviously in the room is a large metal display that is very intricate, and whatever display piece usually rests on it is not there. Besides that, there is definitely a costume case overflowing with different dresses and garments and boas in the corner of the room here. That's currently open.
I am surprised you are not sitting in the second row.
To be honest with you, my heart can't take it anymore. The more my love grew, the more the suspense watching the show. I mean, they put themselves in such danger, the sisters. I can't take it anymore. Each flip, I'm like, what if... they bind their wings. What if she falls? It could be terrible. So I stay back here, and Uriel keeps me company.
Why do they do that?
To make it more impressive. Like no net under the wingless acrobats. To make the show worth something, they say. Why? Wait, what's happened?
Can I roll insight to see if they seem genuine?
Yeah.
Critical failure +3.
There's a moment where they're obviously remembering something and their face is filled with love, and they remembered you said given the circumstances, and whatever they were thinking about is completely snapped out of their mind as they snap to attention. Wait, why are you here again? What happened? What has happened? As you don't get really any read about whether or not it's genuine or not genuine or anything in this moment, as a rush of emotion seems to overtake them.
I believe you should pay a visit to Mr. Parola on stage with haste.
They begin to walk past you at once. The butler following. Back on stage during this time, what are your credentials? Sherrilyn is helping the other sister right now. How can I help you all?
We were most so thinking, how can we help you, given the tragedy that has befallen?
Inara looks at Francis, who says this, and looks back. She goes, I'm just here for my sister.
Your sister is helping Spring. You see the arcane eye kind of point to the left If you would like to assist her, please feel free to do so. You have the look of a cleric about you. I have already attempted revival. It did not work. I do not know why. The body itself has obvious issues. Come, please. You see, she's taking a quick glance at you, Francis, and something within you, as she takes in the symbol of the lost, kind of recognizing you at once, it welcomes your help as her physical body kind of glances and welcomes you over as the arcane eye stays pointed for Inara.
Francis would walk over solemnly to Aoife and kneel down beside her and look over Autumn's body.
Yeah. Any specific methodology?
Given the nature of how it happened, he's definitely going to look first at the mechanism and then at her body.
Absolutely. Roll me an investigation check as you look at the mechanism. Plato and Inara, what are you doing here?
Seeing Francis kneel over a dead body, Inara recognizes there's nothing she can do. There's no potion that works on the dead, and so she's going to head towards the direction that the magical eye was pointing at and go backstage.
Yes, Plato will. He is also interested in some mechanisms, which looked like they were made out of stone from what he could tell. But he also is close up with Aoife for the first time here, and I think his disguise is working well enough, and she's distracted given the situation and has not really, does not know him very well. But he does need to speak to her. So I think as he goes, he'll go to stand over Francis's shoulder and watch him and look at the mechanism as it is undone to investigate it. But as Francis is proceeding to do that, I think the first thing he'll do is I'm going to make a telepathic bond with Aoife. And you see his glasses as he adjusts them. They do the catch the light thing as Aoife's attention is drawn to him. And in telepathic speech, he says, "Credential-wise, I need to keep my identity secret, but it is Plato Ardavian here from Ardavian House. I have unfortunate news about Vartun."
The arcane eye looks towards Plato, kind of taking you in for a second.
He smiles up at it.
The first word out loud and in your head, and then the rest of the sentence just in your head, as it takes her just a moment to adapt to this mode of speech. "You are expected. I have a package from you from your sister in my office. News of my husband. I have been in communication with him. Is all well?"
You've been in communication with him? He was kidnapped from the peace meet?
You see her slam a fist into the ground. It kind of shakes the stage just a little bit. She says out loud, "That goddamn liar!"
Francis kind of holds his, looking at the body. And I was like, "It's all right, madam."
"Yes, my husband just thinks very little of me. It's okay. Don't worry about it." You hear in your head, "I knew his tone was weird. He's pretty much just been telling me what he's been eating. Yes, I've been casting sending to him each night. He must not want me to worry. Kidnap. We must focus at the task at hand. Please, we must talk about this at length. Maybe somewhere more private."
Absolutely. First, I look down at Francis. So, yes, what is this? Very strange. And I can give the help action to whatever investigation on it he wanted to do.
You can all tell with your passive insight. Very unfortunately, she seems to be pretty single track minded. She doesn't even, the arcane eye seems to be facing the ceiling. She doesn't even seem to be sort of thinking about the death beneath her at all right now. She seems to be contemplating some sort of plan of action or thought process on who would take her husband at the peace meet. Has he said some sort of clues in his sending? Is it possible to monitor sending? She's gone. She's completely gone right now as you all investigate this device beneath her kind of physical body and eye. Francis, go ahead and give me that investigation check at advantage.
That's a 10.
Okay. The device itself seems very, very complex. You see where the metal wings seem to separate, and there's definitely some sort of illusionary magic that can be activated from within it. As you see it kind of unfold It's definitely heavily enchanted and magical, but there seems to be a lot of complex individual mechanics involved as well. So you see some gears. It's a pretty complex piece of magical machinery. As you take it in, nothing immediately strikes you as odd about it, like in terms of the setup. As you look it over, kind of taking it in, it's still attached to her back. So unless you like literally physically remove it from the body, it's hard to get as good of a look at it. But as you and Plato kind of take it over, you figure out its purpose. It's definitely specifically made for this show. It is to lock over the wings. The lock mechanism looks obvious to keep them in place, to keep the show impressive. If they were to fall, the fall feels real.
Is the mechanism currently locked over the wings?
As you look at that specific part of it, over her wings kind of fallen, broken on the ground. It is currently locked, but not as the metal would set in. As you look at it now, you realize there seems to be some sort of metal ring extension from the piece that has kept her wings in place and kind of like pressed them down to it in a way that isn't the way the metal wings set over the wings initially. Like a secondary lock has been initiated.
Is that the malfunction?
Do you look it over, Plato? This specific part?
I do. There's the other sisters they wore theirs off the stage, right? Damn. I would love to be able to compare it to another set. Does that look like a malfunction, that secondary lock that Francis points out?
Go ahead and roll me. I think it has to be an investigation check with advantage here. There's something specific.
All right, I have a +5 to that. Give me 1 second. 15.
Yeah. The metal on this part of the wing looks much newer compared to the metal on the rest of the wing.
Interesting. I pointed out to Francis and I say, it looks like it was added later, or it was a recent repair. It's made of a newer...
What is happening here? You see interrupting you a fancily dressed robed person you recognize immediately as a member of Richter House, seeing the sigil on them as they march out to the stage being sent by Sherrilyn.
Plato takes a brief step back, sort of, and behind Francis a little bit.
Yeah, Francis is still kneeling down beside the body when they enter, and he looks up at them and is like, "Don't worry, we're trying to figure it out."
Figure out what? You see Sheena approach. The robed figure very quickly runs over to the body. Tears begin welling in their face. The butler figure, tall, kind of lanky behind them. Where are the other sisters? Cuts to Inara. Inara, you hear giggling coming from the direction that you're walking.
Do I recognize like Leilani's voice in the giggling?
I don't think so.
Well, it's only been a few minutes since the accident happened, and it would make sense that someone that has been backstage the whole time doesn't know what's going on, so I don't think that would weed her out completely, but she will follow the direction, considering she doesn't know which of the rooms Leilani's in.
You hear giggling coming from behind the leftmost door as you walk behind the stage.
She'll approach it and sort of stick her head around the door frame to peek inwards.
Yeah, the door is closed at present. Do you open it?
She'll do a soft knock, but won't wait for a response and just go ahead and open the door.
Sounds good. You see a full-on dressing room. As you open it, you see Leilani is currently in a dressing room chair, surrounded by 3 individuals who seem to be applying makeup to her face and doing her hair. You see a pixie with these kind of golden brown wings, currently clipping her hair with a pair of scissors. You see a fairy dragon floating around her, kind of sprinkling different glitter and dust. You see in the corner and hear some soft music that wasn't coming through the door of a harp as a satyr plays, and you see what looks like a man made of moss with like full on 8-pack made of moss and like a kind of like a human hedge carved, just ripped, absolutely ripped, just shredded, who's in the corner kind of watching and giggling. You hear he's the source. His voice is pretty high pitched as you hear the giggle. You see one of these Heron sisters kind of on a lounger chair in the back, deep in thought, kind of not even sort of paying attention to what's going on in the room here, as Leilani looks uncomfortable in the chair.
Oh, okay. So you're not enjoying the makeover in the middle of the murder. Okay.
Not even a little.
It's still a lot to take in. Her initial like, let's say instinct is to rebuke her sister, thinking that she's getting a makeover instead of helping. And then she registers a look of discomfort, looks towards what was the creature called? The one that's giggling?
Roll me an Arcana check.
It would be fascinating if this is something that Leilani does not recognize, considering where she's from. Arcana, that's a +6, so 8 + 6, 14.
Yeah, I don't think you've ever seen one of these before, but I think you have read about one. This is a Spriggan, a nature spirit that has come to life in its physical form, a fey being.
So she'll look over, about to dismiss him, and then does like a, what's the word? Like is taken aback both by the ripped body, but also the disparity between the look and the sound. And she frowns at him and then goes, "Not now," and walks over to her sister. She tries to smile politely at the others, but she immediately goes to her sister, whispers in her ear, "What is going on here?"
Leilani looks at you from the chair. I don't know. As soon as we got in here, Spring said, "Folks, this girl has won a makeover," and like put me in the chair, and then they just went to work on me, and she's just been like sitting in the corner over there.
Oh, she did this to you?
We're making her beautiful. Don't even worry about it. Do you want one too? You hear the pixie say that's kind of like cutting Leilani's hair very, very short.
Inara gives the pixie a side look and goes, "I'm already beautiful," and dismisses the pixie immediately.
Pixie kind of nods.
She'll turn back to her sister. She's thinking on this for a second and then focuses in on what's happening and goes, "Sister, I think you may have lost enough length there." As she sees her hair getting shorter and shorter and going like, "I don't think you're gonna like the end result here." Perhaps that's enough of a makeover. I think she's fine as of now.
Spring, what do you think? You see Spring kind of come to attention, sort of catatonic for a second. Keep going. Keep going.
Why not make up each other? Wouldn't that be fun?
You've never done that before. Roll me a persuasion check.
I don't know if each of you has a specialty that you could try out on each other. Persuasion, she has a +1, so a 9, 8 + 1.
After we're done with her, of course.
Inara looks at Leilani a little apologetic and goes, "I tried." And goes over to Spring. She approaches her very tentatively, trying to respect her boundaries, but also check on her. Are you okay?
Her eyes are kind of darting back left and right, not looking at anything in particular. As you, she kind of takes you in. Who are you?
"I'm the makeover queen's sister," she says as she points with her thumb towards Leilani's torture.
I'm sorry about that. My friends, they bring me great joy, but they can't, no matter how hard I try, take anything seriously. And I don't want to hear any jokes or mischief about my sister's death right now.
There's no need to apologize. I'm enjoying what's happening to her. However, if you require peace and quiet, that is easily achieved. And Inara turns back to the rest of the group. "Okay, it's time to shoot." And she starts to gently but forcefully push them towards the door.
No. The pixie looks at you. The scissor's kind of as big as her in her hand. What do we get if we shoot?
I don't turn you into a frog. How about that?
I won't turn you into a toad if we stay.
No.
Alright, she's gonna begin casting a spell.
Hold on. I took this cantrip last time and I still don't know. Oh, she's gonna try and use prestidigitation to distract the pixie with, I want to say like a shower of light, like different colored sparks that seem to be trailing towards the door as if being left by some mystical creature. And she'll point to it using the oldest trick in the book and go, "What's that? Did you see that?"
Yeah, roll me a sleight of hand at a disadvantage here.
Okay, at disadvantage, that's a 17. 15 + 2.
Let me roll something real quick. Nice try. And I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw.
That's an 18 on the die. I don't have any plus to that.
That is enough.
Oh, thank God.
The pixie's eyebrows furrow. Why aren't you a toad?
Just unlucky, I guess. How about this? How about I let you take her, and she points to Leilani, and you can do whatever you want to her, makeup wise. She says hesitantly.
An important caveat with a pixie.
Think about it. Any look you've ever wanted to try out but weren't allowed to by your customer, here's your canvas.
I've always wanted to try a little acid to burn the cheeks in a little. Let's do it.
That's not makeup. She'll whisper to Leilani as she pushes her towards them. Try and protect yourself.
Her head cocks to the side, and you see her mouth. What the fuck do you mean? As she looks at this room full of fake creatures. Creatures she doesn't recognize or have any understanding of what's happening here.
You're the Gilded Rose's daughter. You can handle this. Go. And she'll push her out the door as the rest of them hopefully follow.
Yeah, no, the rest of them will clear the room here. We cut back to the stage. Sheena is kind of beginning to cry a little bit. The butler says, "Where is Winter?"
I believe Winter is back in her room with an escort from our group. I am sorry so much for your loss. It is a strange occurrence.
You see the butler begin to walk off. Sherrilyn, prior to this, though, you see Winter return from her hiding place and kind of reunite with you to walk back into Autumn's room with you. Is that where you're going?
Yes, here. Take a seat.
She sits on the chair here, kind of facing the mirror. Her hands kind of rubbing against her face.
So you have a fan club? She inquires as she shuts the door gently.
Yeah, they are obnoxious, just absolute assholes.
How could they be your fans if they're assholes?
Oh, keeps me safe, keeps me good. They're my friends. You know what I mean? You can say that about your own friends. She says kind of unconvincingly, just a little bit. Who are you exactly? I appreciate the support and help and the privacy.
Relative of Aoife. She obviously is lying here, but hopefully not obviously to this person. Did they hurt you? She asks proddingly, kind of taking a seat closer to her.
Her eyebrows narrow. Who?
Your friends.
No, they would never hurt Winter. They would never hurt me, ever. They are my dedicated fans. The Frost Fellows.
Yes. She gently pats her on the back with one hand, looking down at her lap. And how did they feel about your sisters? Surely they're happy for your sisters.
They're pretty, forgive the pun, pretty cold on autumn. Spring kind of keeps to herself. Favorite topic of discussion among the Frost Fellows is how much autumn sucks, I'd say, yeah.
Do you think that?
Do I think autumn sucks?
Yes.
My dead sister, who's outside right now, sprawled across the ground, do I think she sucks?
I know it's not polite to speak ill of the dead.
Is that the question that you're asking me?
Hey, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you sound like you and your fans/friends have had some disagreements. And it's okay to take a break from them. Just rest a while in here.
Yes. I think Autumn has had every reason to make every decision that she has made. But if you ask other people, they might not think that of me.
How could you say that? You seem like you are very kindly.
You see a real genuine smile across her lips.
You don't seem like a very cold person to me.
Kind of straightens up a little bit. May I have some time alone?
Yes, sure. As she gets up and goes towards the door, she pauses and turns back towards that empty display. Was there something that should have been returned here?
She says, "Oh, yes." And it's pretty laborious, but she begins taking off the wing structure that's around her.
I see. Sherrilyn's going to look at it closely as she takes it off, trying to memorize it as best as she can.
You see she returns it to the post, kind of effortlessly.
Have you used them many times?
Yes, ever since they were meant for us, we've made use of them. They're kind of the showstopper.
Yes, they seem very intricate. Who designed them?
There's an artificer who works in the city. A Tom.
A Tom. I see.
Yeah, he's a Kind of crazy old man, but we've worked closely with him for many years on our show, improved it in different ways. I still don't understand what happened tonight. She just fell.
I'm sure we'll get to the bottom of it. Why don't you rest for now?
Thank you.
She'll leave her in there, shut the door again. And I think instead of going back to the stage, she's going to go to the next room where Winter's dressing room is supposed to be and her entourage.
Yeah. Let's cut back to the main stage as you cross over here. On the main stage at present, we have Sheena Richter kind of crying over the body. The butler has begun walking away and is headed towards the back as directed here to go talk to Winter as soon as possible.
Francis kind of looks between Autumn's body and then Paola, and then he will, softly as not to interrupt the grieving, will ask, what is this new piece right here?
Pearla kind of leans in. I'm not too familiar with the construction of their wings. I couldn't tell you. It looks like it's locked around her wing, though. We could summon the Tom. He's the kind of person who maintains this. We could get him to come get a professional look at it. I could call for him.
Yes, if you could fetch him, that would be great.
I was going to ask if I could get an insight check on Perola.
Yeah.
For him saying he doesn't know much about the wing configuration. 16 plus 0, 16.
This man is very distraught, and he seems very genuine and upset. And you see in him a thing you've definitely seen before, probably in younger members of the Sluice Guard, which is someone who, during a hard time or crisis, has found a way to make themselves useful. He seems very genuine in this, as he says, I'll go get him at once.
Just before you go, thank you. I think we should speak to Autumn. Who has access to these devices before the show? Are they kept in a stunt closet or the individual dressing rooms?
They are kept in the individual dressing rooms for each of the girls, yes.
Thank you for the knowledge. Yes, if you could bring us the artificer, it might be best for us to get the wings off of her and the body somewhere more where it can repose.
She'll be buried in my family's graveyard. I know we aren't married yet, but she deserves this dignity.
Plato is doing his best to skirt the awareness of Sheena Richter.
Easily done, as Sheena's eyes seem to be glued to the corpse.
Yeah, as Paola's going off to find the artificer, Francis will stand up and then look at Sheena and ask them, where would you like us to move her body for now?
Aoife says, can we keep it as it is? I just want to make sure we've uncovered all possibilities before we start moving things. Sheena looks towards Aoife. Do you mean to suggest that this could have not just been an accident? We don't know yet, Sheena. All possibilities are on the table. It might be best if maybe if you got some air, waited outside for a little bit as we completed our investigation. You see Sheena kind of think to themselves for a moment. Okay, just do right by us. I trust you, Aoife. Gets real close to Aoife before kind of parting the curtain with their hand and walking off into the audience way, closing the curtain behind them.
I assume Sherrilyn has separated the sisters so that their stories will not be contaminated by one another. That is good protocol. As long as Inara doesn't promise her sister to any troll king somehow, I think we should be fine.
I was like, do we hear the entourage giggling as they take Leilani out of the dressing room?
Yeah, I think in this moment you for sure hear the giggling echoing throughout the hallway. As you see just kind of passing by you on stage left here, a figure just quickly that looks like all green, made of some sort of fern, carrying Leilani, as Leilani kind of flails a little bit to the corner here, to the side lounge.
Hey, sir, Moss, sir, pardon me. That's our cat friend.
Do you want to see her come get makeup?
I look at Leilani. You said she was squirming.
Yeah, she has a ridiculous amount of color on her face. It looks like a rainbow has kind of thrown up over her fur.
Leilani, were you traded to fairies?
Oh God, was I traded to you all? Just for a little bit, darling. Don't worry. The pixie says and snips her scissors in the air as they continue forward. You see a pixie floating around her, a fairy dragon flying far above, and playing harp behind them is a satyr.
She's one of the Lisa Frank tigers.
Well, I have only read of these situations. Francis, you being from Honhop would know better. I'm sorry, Leilani, I don't think we can interfere with a fairy bargain.
Excuse me. Francis will kind of stand up and look at the pixie with the scissors. Are you going to do any lasting harm to her?
Ooh, how long are we defining lasting?
More than a day.
Maybe, but it'll be worth it. She giggles and snaps her scissors a few more times.
Francis kind of looks at Plato and motions between Plato and the body to kind of look over Autumn as he walks towards the pixies a little bit.
We should just leave her here until Atom can take off the wings. Then we can maybe move her.
In this moment, Sherrilyn, you open the door to the Frost Fellows, and you see a lot of folks within this dressing room. The first figure, kind of large and pacing about the room, you see a albino hobgoblin man, very, very tall, almost towards the ceiling in this kind of lounge-like room. You see a tiefling man and a tiefling woman sitting on the couch, kind of reading this large-looking book together. You see a large polar bear wearing pince-nez glasses, who has a large pile of books next to him that are almost as tall as he is. He's sitting kind of backwards in this daybed with a book open in his paws. You also see a pair of lizard folk, completely white skin, except for their kind of green underbellies. They look identical. Definitely twins of some type. These folks are all kind of about the room. The albino hobgoblin and lizard seem to be playing some sort of ball and jack game, as under the floor beneath them there's a series of these circular metal shapes that look like all metal marble, a little bit bigger than marbles, and they seem to be playing some sort of game with each other as you walk in. Who is it that interrupts the Frost Fellows? You see the albino hobgoblin towards you and kind of slam this large baton that he has in his hand on the ground.
Sherrilyn doesn't even flinch. Hello, friends of winter. I have backstage pass.
Ooh, the tieflings kind of say half jokingly. We all have backstage passes, darling. What makes you so special? One of them says from the bed.
I'm a beautiful woman.
There's a series of guffaws from a few people. Half the room here is yeah, she is a beautiful woman, that's true. And half of them are like, ha, 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 you think so highly of yourself. And it kind of ruins them laughing that a few of the people are like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's true. As the room seems a little bit split on this. Is the show over?
I believe it is. I'm surprised you all were not watching. You just stay in Winter's room during performance?
We've seen the show so many goddamn times. We do our own thing now.
But you still come.
Of course, we want to be here for her. They're all pretty nicely dressed, kind of jewelry throughout their person, necklaces kind of dangling.
Just Winter.
Yeah, fuck autumn, fuck spring. The polar bear speaks up. Hey, that's not very nice. They're very kind to us, too. I don't know why there's such animosity, he says, putting his note kind of back in the book.
Yes, I heard Autumn is particularly sweet, kindly.
Traitor. Guys, she took a job that's good for her, the polar bear says. You know what? I'm staying out of this. And he kind of doubles down. He takes 2 books, one in each hand, looking at them.
I see we have some strong feelings about Autumn. Are we not allowed to like Autumn in this little groupie?
There's kind of knowing glances throughout the thing as you see them look towards each other.
I see. And that would have nothing to do with any potential profiting you do off of supporting Winter in particular.
She's about to ruin it all. I mean, who would want to see them as a duo? Spring and Winter? Those are nobody's favorite.
And that would lose all of you funds.
They'll kind of look towards each other.
They're nice jackets. I couldn't help but notice. I mean, I did some walking around Netter's Rally, and I can't say I saw many other folk with wardrobes like yours.
Winter won't let her gang follow her unless they look icy.
I was about to say, you indeed look icy, baby, but no. Instead, I will say, you do indeed look icy. I'm sorry. I have to address this. She turns towards the bear. You are a bear, and you are speaking.
Yes, she paid a druid. to awaken me for a high cost so that I'd be a fancy ride. But I am no mount. I am my own man. I'm a path to better enlighten myself and understand why we exist. Hello, my name is Winston. It's nice to meet you. He waves a bear paw from the daybed.
Greetings, Sir Winston the bear.
I am not knighted.
I understand. I've had some run-ins with bears before, and I have to say this is the most positive interaction I think I've ever had with one.
I'll forgive the pun, he says, using his paw to lift back up a book.
So you're just waiting for winter to return?
Yeah.
What are we doing when she comes back?
Probably a shit-talking session about how autumn ruined everything. Then we'll probably drink champagne to celebrate the last show, but we'll all be sad because we know it won't last.
Well, since this is their last show here, there's probably an encore, so why don't we start drinking and shit-talking now?
Okay. You see, like, 4 of them need no encouragement. The bear kind of looks up. You see him put his books down, and he kind of like stretches in the daybed a bit, and it like almost breaks underneath him. Okay, what's going on?
Nothing.
No, something's up.
I just like to enjoy a good libation and some shit talk now and then, don't you? You are an awakened animal.
That's kind of true. Roll me a persuasion check, not deception. That is kind of true for Sherrilyn, I feel like.
Actually, this makes sense. If this is how she does her inquisiting, if she gets drunk with them, then it actually, the whole thing kind of falls into place.
23.
Okay, yeah, break out the champagne. I mean, Winter will be furious, but it's worth
she'll
it.
be all right. I mean, it's all right when people disagree every now and then. But let's talk about the breakup. Where's the champagne?
There's a large display case of champagne kind of towards the back of the room and collection of wines. In fact, Sherrilyn, you see here towards the top a bottle that looks all too familiar, a vintage of Madeira. Dark red wine. The bottle looks very familiar to you.
Oh, I see you haven't drank this one.
It's behind glass. As you like go to it, that's Winter's special brew. That's for a very special occasion only. Please do not touch that. The lizards take turns saying.
Oh, I can't help but admire it. It seems such a waste to leave it behind the glass. Strokes a hand across it.
They all begin popping champagne, pouring it into their special glasses. They each have their own individual glass that it seems to be bejeweled or decorated in a style that is appropriate to them. As they begin pouring champagne, something they've definitely done many times before, as the Frost Fellows gather around in a circle. We cut to Inara and Spring kind of sitting amongst themselves in what was once a space filled with laughter and noise, but is now eerily quiet as you sit and look at a kind of catatonic contemplating Spring Summar.
At first, Inara will try to respect her need for quiet and stay silent, but I think it's hard for her to be quiet and inactive for long. So after a few minutes, she'll look around the room. Is there like a bar or some water? Maybe something stronger?
Yeah, there's definitely like a snack bar. There's no like meat here. A lot of like vegetarian snacks.
She assumes that Spring is not going to want to eat anything, so she'll go over to the snack bar and grab, I guess, a glass of water and see if there's any alcohol, considering she's had a shock and she might want something stronger than water.
Yeah, there's definitely bottles of white wine on the top of the shelf here, above the snacks.
So yeah, she'll grab a glass of wine and a glass of water and bring them back to Spring, offering both up.
Spring barely moves her eyes at all in this moment, but in a very smooth motion, appropriate to that of a skilled acrobat, takes the glass of white wine, puts it to her beak, and downs it, and then puts the glass down gently.
Inara will crouch in front of her. Is there anything I can do for you? I know you've had a shock, but perhaps it would be good to talk about it?
What is there to talk about?
As someone with sisters, I would imagine you are feeling a great deal of grief?
Yes. Grief is definitely an emotion that is coursing through me, yes.
Does Inara buy this, or...?
Yeah. I think she continues. There are others too, but grief is there. Roll an insight check.
That was an 8 on the die, plus 0, so 8.
8? She definitely looks a little confused.
I am sure an accident such as this can be quite a shock to the senses, but it may help to maybe go be with your sister, your other sister. She corrects.
Yes. She kind of picks up for a second, her eyes making eye contact with you now, kind of for the first time fully. This is a good idea. Would you fetch her for me?
Sure. And she'll get up and walk out of the room, seeing no reason why she shouldn't leave her alone, I guess.
Francis, you regard these fae figures kind of all gathered around Leilani, each suggesting a different color or look that are all being layered upon her with no regard for trying to match or be symmetrical with the previous idea or look.
So tell me, what was the deal that allowed you to go about this makeup project?
The other kitty person said that as long as we left her alone in there, we can do whatever we want to her sister, as long as the effects only last for 1 day or less.
Did the person in question, and he would motion to Leilani, agree to this agreement?
Oh. They all kind of, in simultaneous unison, look towards Leilani. We hadn't thought of that.
Francis will then ask Leilani very directly and with a very pointed do you agree to be a part of this deal?
No, very much no. Thank you. She goes to stand, and they let her stand. Okay, that I can't believe this is working. She kind of puts her hands up a little bit and is kind of side shuffling out of the group of fake creatures who are just kind of standing there regarding you, Francis, as Leilani creeps out from them and then goes to stand behind you.
Now, was there a reason why you were asked to leave the room?
No, that's good. What if she's killing Spring? And they all begin running back as you see Inara run out or walk out of the door to go fetch Winter. Did you kill her? You hear one of them yell it to you, Inara.
Oh, Autumn? No, she fell. I was in the audience. She does not make the connection at all.
The pixie flies with fury through the door as it begins to shut.
Oh, the other one. No, she's fine.
Are you fine? Yes, I'm fine. Okay. The pixie stays out of the door as the door shuts, and she rejoins the other fake creatures.
Where can I find Winter? As she starts looking around.
Her dressing room is on the far right, over there. They point towards.
She'll glance towards Leilani to make sure she's still in one piece. And sees just a cornucopia of color on her face in person.
Her face is pressed into Francis's back, and you see that the color, whatever different chalks and dyes they used, is imprinting on Francis's robes on the back. As Leilani kind of rubs it off, standing behind him.
I think Inara's gonna try really hard to hold back a snicker. Just at what's happening. First at the way her sister looks, but then at the fact that Francis is getting some kind of portrait on his back unknowingly. She'll decide not to comment on it. Well, Spring requires her sister's presence, so I'm going to go get her.
Francis kind of nods at and I was okay, well, go retrieve her sister, and while you're at it, please try not to make further deals with the Fae folk. They can take them pretty seriously.
She'll stop and consider that for a second and goes, I mean, I'm not a frog, so I think I won that one. She does not explain further. She just walks away.
I'm not a frog either, bitch. You hear whispered under her breath somewhere. This mean girl pixie.
Is there any way, I'm looking at Aoife, is there any way that I can roll an Arcana or maybe a history or a religion check to think of reasons why a revivify like that wouldn't have worked if the body seems to be intact?
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check.
That's an 11 on the die plus 2. 13.
Historically speaking, the main reason has been is because the soul has not wanted to return. There's been many, many theories written and published specifically in Perian cultures. There is a period where it became the main focus of philosophy for just a couple years, where it became the fad to write about this specific thing, about people denying and whether or not there's honor in denying revivify, and then subjecture following that on what people must have seen to deny revivify to stay in whatever version of their afterlife they've reached. A lot of theory crafting, but there hasn't been any other reasoning that's really come to mind from your perspective for the 13.
Strange that someone with the promise of a career in Breg and a fiancé would refuse a return to life. I guess I'm talking to Aoife, who I think is the only one nearby, because Perola went to get the artificer, right?
Mm-hmm. I've never had my revivify spell not work before. There are accidents on the docks. People drown who aren't as strong as swimmers as they think. It's come in handy many times.
Strange. How well do you know their performance, the sisters?
I've seen it many times. Any opportunity I could.
That part at the end, when all of the wings unlock and performs the sparks, do you know if that is pre-programmed, or if they have control over their wings since that time?
I've never asked this question, but it has remained the same for the last few years. From an arcana perspective, I'd guess there's some sort of gesture or movement that's part of the finale that would trigger it. Let me think about it. She does, gonna roll a check. She's pretty smart.
I'm referring specifically to like when they all came up and did their different seasonal effects, which was part of the finale. And I think that's when Sherrilyn clocked that Autumn was terrified, or the person who died was terrified.
Yeah, she gets an 18 total. Yes, as I said, my best guess would be that it's some sort of illusion triggered by some sort of body motion that would free the wings. With the wings freed, this illusion would trigger all kind of one singular mechanism. It would be possible to add additional magical effects to this, or even mechanical ones.
I suppose I can ask Atom when he arrives, or they arrive, but the illusion effects, do you know if those are specific to the rig of each sister?
Yes, definitely. They have to be, right?
I would assume. So someone wearing Autumn's thing would have Autumn's illusion take place, and might not know they were wearing the wrong one right up to some of it.
I'm going to roll another roll here. Damn, she got a very high roll there. But I think that was a good line of thinking. I will say the last couple times I've seen the show, the finale gets grander and grander, but this is the first time they've been in this order. Usually it's spring, winter, autumn.
Seth is curious. I think I'm gonna mull over that and then wait for the artificer.
Sounds good. Sherrilyn, these people can fucking drink. The polar bear is abstaining. He seems deep in his books, but everyone else is just downing champagne. They are sharing stories of times that winter has been especially beautiful, balls and galas as they've traveled across the different cities of Boromina. They are discussing times that autumn has attempted to upstage winter and failed, or has succeeded and winter will get revenge. Those are the kind of the casual topics of gossip at surface level here as they begin drinking. Do you lead the conversation in a certain way or ask any specific questions as you're with them?
I think I'd start by saying something funny, like joking, like, and then I said, you should look in the mirror, except, well, no. I'm sorry, were we talking about revenge?
Yes. It's kind of all Winter's on about recently. Winter studied and worked so hard for that spot in the opera. And I can't believe Autumn got it.
Did she apply for it?
Yes. We had to stay in Breg for months. Ugh, so rainy.
Oh, that's such a shame with her fiance being from there and all.
Yeah, no, really works for Autumn, right? Oh, so convenient. Oh, we have to stay in the city for a series of auditions that your partner lives in.
That is fascinating.
The Hobgoblin says, I don't even what is your point? Winter wanted the job. I mean, Winter wanted to stay as much as anyone. Autumn is a jerk, okay? Anyway, shouldn't the show be over by now?
The sisters, they look so similar. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, what is so different about them? Why choose Autumn? Do you think it was because of the fiance?
Yes, they all say in almost unison. The polar bear says at the exact same time, no.
You don't. she says, seriously considering the bear's words.
I don't.
Why is that, my bear friend?
I think all of the sisters are very talented. They all have different studies and places of interest. They all contribute equally. But I think during an audition they consider everything, including personality. As I said many times before. He says, not even looking up from his book.
So you're saying that Autumn had the best personality of the sisters?
Well, Spring did an audition. Someone else says from the back behind you, one of the tieflings.
Oh, she mouths. Just Winter and Autumn, then?
Yes. The hobgoblin says, I asked Spring why she didn't participate. I mean, she's just as good. Not as Winter, of course. Winter's the best. Winter's the best! They all kind of say, almost cult-like in unison.
Of course. Winter is the best.
But, she said she's too much of a free spirit. The opera has such a busy and hectic schedule. It keeps you from doing anything else.
Does she have any connections with the opera she could have used to get this coveted spot?
The bear rolls his eyes so big he almost falls out of the daybed in response to you asking this question, as everyone else kind of whispers and gossips amongst themselves. Well, obviously, Sheena, while there's no direct connection between the Altar and the Richter house, the Richter obviously have some sort of favor or blackmail on the Voltaics, and were able to get Autumn in this role.
I see. That is very interesting. Well, perhaps it is for the best that Winter didn't get the role. Maybe she wanted to stay with her sisters.
Where is Winter?
Oh, she's probably signing autographs or something. Whatever, famous people do.
They all laugh.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that not characteristic of Winter?
Winter would never.
Really? Well, then what do you think of this Sheena? She leans over her knees with the drink in her hand. What sort of person are they?
The hobgoblin speaks. Weak? I don't even think they could take me in an arm wrestling match.
Definitely not.
They made Autumn betray us, all of us.
Made them?
Yeah, without them, there's no way Autumn would take the job at the opera. Autumn loves her sisters.
Do you think they forced Autumn to take the role?
There's some consideration. You see in the eyes here with your passive insight, some people want to say yes, but even they know that's probably a step too far. Even that's maybe too slanderous or unbelievable on its face.
She glances over her shoulder at the bear.
The bear is deep in the book. He's this is all bullshit. He's not saying that, but you can tell he's not even engaging further after that last question you asked was so leading and unfair in its portrayal that his eye roll has now prevented him from engaging further.
Friends, please talk amongst yourselves. Sherrilyn insists as she goes and takes a seat much closer to the bear. She'll sit beside him, lean towards him, as if looking at what he is reading, and say lowly, "Now you seem like a very wise bear."
I am known for my intellect, yes.
I am sure that is the case. But you seem to know Winter very well, and you are a part of her posse, so if there was anything threatening her well-being, job opportunities, or people within her social circle, you would know.
He kind of looks at you, straight-faced.
I have a vested interest in your friend.
What is this interest?
Her well-being and her safety, of course.
He kind of sniffs at you a bit.
Is there something wrong with my odor?
Wrong isn't the right word.
I don't understand. But you know things that these other half-wits do not. So you're aware that she auditioned in Bragg and she did not get that spot. What was her reaction when she was denied the opportunity?
Anger. She smashed a lot of things.
And what did she say?
She said, "Damn it, I deserve this. I hate you all. Get out. Don't talk to me. You can't have your books. You should be punished too. You dirty bear." Stuff like that.
I'm sure she did not say dirty bear.
She did. Yes, I have a pretty good memory. She did say dirty bear.
Oh.
Even though my fur is almost immaculate.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. He takes off his pince-nez using both paws.
Something has occurred which may raise concerns amongst this posse. Not Winter. Winter is well, rest assured, but one of Winter's sisters is not so well. And we are trying to discover whomst or what has caused her to be befallen.
Do you mean that literally?
You are a very intellectual bear.
He kind of looks down in thought. Which sister?
She raises her eyebrows expectantly. I think you know the answer.
May I see the body?
I have not moved it. Why do you want to see it?
He thinks on that for a second. It is through her that I've gained my sentience. Maybe a sense of melancholy, or a sense of conclusion, or closure. She suggested to Winter that I get awakened. I become more than just a bear. Autumn meant a lot to me.
Sherrilyn is solemnly nodding along. Yes, I can see why this would affect you deeply. You see, I have some experience with awakened animals now, and that is not the point. But that is to say, yes. As far as I am concerned, you may go, and just do not raise the alarm with this group of individuals.
Yeah, I won't fit through that door, so I'm gonna have to go through this one and then go through the curtain, I guess.
Oh, there's a door there? Oh, there is a door there.
Okay, hey everybody. Winter wants to take me for a victory lap around the building. I will be right back.
There he goes. And I will finish my drink.
I think in this moment, Inara, where are you going to try to find Winter?
Well, when she left the first dressing room, someone pointed to a door that told her that was Winter's dressing room, so that's where she would head first.
Inara, do you knock or open the door?
Open.
Yeah, Inara, you open the door to see the back behind of a large polar bear that seems to be, with some fumbling, using his paws to open the large door to the auditorium that leaves the lounge room. You see Sherrilyn sitting on a chair next to a daybed, a large style of books, and you see a large group of people all sitting in a circle on these couches, consuming champagne at a pretty quick rate. A few empty bottles in the center.
Not what I expected.
Oh, hello, my lady.
Are you celebrating?
Not exactly. She quickly sets down her glass and stands up, going over to Inara, puts an arm around her. You see, I was gathering intel. Her breath smells like alcohol.
She'll whisper back, of course you were. And they are drinking to celebrate the fall of one of the performers?
No, you see, they are unaware of it. They are drinking so that I may get the intel from them more easily. This is the Medean way.
Sneaky. I like the Medean way. What have you discovered so far?
That involves a bear.
Why does it always involve an animal when you are...
I don't know. They appear before me. It's not a choice of mine, but it was a very well-spoken bear.
Oh, an awakened bear, nonetheless. Wow.
Yes, they spoke, and they were white-haired. I've never seen any like them.
She'll pause for a second and goes, oh, you mean a polar bear?
Yes?
Yes, you mean a polar bear. She changes her tone and goes, you mean a polar bear.
It is Winter's bear, but he was awakened at the request of Autumn and has gone to investigate what befell her.
Speaking of, where is Winter? And she'll look around the room, realizing that amongst the group she does not see the heron.
Yes, this is another Inquisitor's trick. You see, I have split her up from the rest of her posse so that I could question them individually.
And who's questioning Winter?
I was, but she is now at rest and has been at rest in Autumn's room.
You left her to rest in her recently deceased sister's room? She looks at you a little shocked.
I figured that if it was partially her doing, then the guilt might overcome her and she would leave evidence where we could easily find it.
You are sneaky.
I know.
Sarah's very impressed with you. She thought you were all brawn, and seeing you in a different light right now, she's very glad she put you in a dress.
Would you like a drink?
I actually would. But I did promise Spring that I would find Winter and bring her to her.
Oh, well, that does not seem wise.
No? She cocks her head, like, doesn't see what's wrong with bringing the two sisters together.
Well, what if it was the two of them that conspired to cause this?
Then maybe we will gain something from watching them interact.
Then they should interact without knowing that we are there?
Is there a Medean way of spying on people?
Yes, you pour water over their heads and they forget who you are.
Inara looks dumbfounded, like, you what?
You pour water over their heads, she says much more slowly, and they forget who you are.
Yes, I caught the words the first time. She's genuinely dumbfounded. Like, are you waterboarding these people?
What is waterboarding?
Not quite killing, but almost.
No, goodness, no. I would never. No, it's not with the intention of killing. If that was what we desired, then we would bring them to the forest.
Ah, yes, of course, the much fabled forest. Well, I don't have any memory stealing water on me at present.
Yes, that is a predicament.
As she realizes that you are being completely serious, now she's gone from being confused to being like, wait, are you serious? There's memory erasing water? How do I make it? Can you tell me how to make it? Do you have the recipe?
Shh. These are secrets of my country, my lady.
Not for long. And she'll say, well, since we do not have the water, maybe we can just go see what the boys are up to before reuniting the sisters. Perhaps they have uncovered some information.
Yes, I think that's an excellent idea. I heard that Lady Leilani went with Spring.
Initially, I may have traded her to some pixies and fey creatures. But she is, well, last I saw her hiding behind Francis's cloak. As she continues the sentence, she realizes she does not come off in the best light here at all.
She tightens her arm's grip around Inara's shoulders and begins leading her outside. I'm sure that cannot be true.
I mean, she's lost a lot of hair. But she'll fine. Hair grows back. She'll be okay. And leads you outside the dressing room back to where Francis and Leilani were waiting.
Yeah, what is Francis up to?
Yeah, so kind of after Inara left the room to go find Winter, Francis kind of turns behind him to look at Leilani and kind of like look at what damages had befallen her. And he puts on like a facade of a smile. It's like, well, at least they didn't get too far along.
Okay, because I feel like there's so much shit on my face. You're telling me it's not too much? They didn't get that far? Because it's like, God, it's almost heavy. Like, my face is like dragging the rest of my head down, you know?
Nothing that can't get washed off.
Good point. Do you have any water?
Not on me, but I know someone who does have it on hand.
Yes. Yeah. I already used my 1 crate water per day, but I can definitely just sort of rub my wet hand on the face.
I'm going to say in this moment, the curtain begins to open in part. And walking through, you see Perola, arm in arm with a very short dwarven man, short even for a dwarf, very, very stout, long ashen beard, almost a completely bald head. The beard goes down to like below his waist as he walks through. A very distraught face. You see behind them a polar bear who is like sniffing at the air. He doesn't walk through the curtain, but the curtain stays parted. You can see him kind of taking the scene in. It's just as I told you, Tom. She fell. The contraption. Something happened. Maybe it was. Maybe the new trick didn't work, huh?
Is that a bear?
Yes, that's Winter's pet.
This is uncanny. Hello.
Hello.
Have you ever read the mysteries of the stained glass pigeon? His companion in mystery solving is a bear. This is just
They are some of my favorites.
Yes, the body's right over here. I cannot believe this is happening. Sorry, Perola Atom. Pardon me. I bow to the dwarf. Was it illusions at the end of the show pre-programmed? And if a alteration was made to your overall mechanism, is it possible that one of the sisters was in another sister's rig? You know, we should show you something of that. My friend Francis will show you the alteration on the mechanism. I'm looking at the bear.
I got about half of that, just in case anyone was keeping track.
Right over here, good sir. And Francis will kneel down and point at the one additional metal piece on Autumn's rig.
I installed that a couple days ago. It's for a new trick, part of the finale. Did something go wrong?
Well, obviously.
Francis kind of like looks at the dwarf and then looks at Autumn. Is like, unfortunately, yes. Apparently, whatever it was did not go according to your intention.
I feel so bad. She paid so much money. It was a rush order. It was supposed to be a grand finale.
You did it for one sister or all of them? And you, Bear, is it true that your fur is translucent and not actually white?
He kind of looks down, considering it. I didn't know that. What was the question to Tom? Sorry.
Oh, if he had customized all the sisters' rigs or just one of them?
Just the one. She came in. She paid me a lot of money to get it done. Make sure it was my only job I was working on.
Did any of the other sisters know of this?
I hadn't seen them in a while. The wings must have not needed work. He kind of spits on the ground on the stage and realizes it's a stage, and then kind of like uses his foot to smother it on the wood.
And what was this final trick that Autumn wished to perform?
She didn't really tell me all the details. It was going to be like a big escape act, I think, though, because she made sure that the new parts of it really locked down the wings. Some sort of teleporting, I'd guess, or something like that.
Can we all hear this conversation, or is it being whispered between them?
This guy doesn't speak at a whispered volume and can't. And his low tone kind of spreads throughout the stage, I'd say.
Hearing the explanation, Inara will lean towards Sherrilyn. Is it just me, or is there a lot of assumption going on? These sisters are identical. How does he know it was Autumn who requested the modification?
Unless they bear some sort of marking to differentiate themselves outside of performance.
I did not notice any markings. Did you?
No, I did not either. The only difference between them that was noted by the parties that I spoke to were their demeanors.
Easy enough to fake, if necessary. And she'll tune back into the conversation between the gentlemen.
Oh, Mr. Bear, I assume you would like to investigate. Please go forth and investigate. Let us know.
He kind of puts down all fours. He was kind of standing before, waiting to go through the curtain. I'm good, actually.
All right.
He looks a little forlorn as he takes to all fours, and he begins walking away back through the large entryway to the room that currently occupies Inara and Sherrilyn.
I cannot believe. That's 2 bears off of my bear list.
You have a bear list.
Yes, it's a little easy as in bird watching.
In Winter's room, with the Frost Fellows getting rowdier and rowdier as they consume Winter's champagne greedily. Bottle after bottle from the glass display case have been cleared as their discussion and shit-talking of autumn and spring has become louder and louder and more raucous. A lot of just obvious retelling of stories with obvious negative changes that probably didn't happen, that seem pretty banal, except for the additions they add in that are embarrassing details to autumn and spring as you two sit there. You all watch as Winston's large form pushes through the double doorway that leads to this private lounge coming from the outer chamber as he makes his way back to his daybed. His mood completely transformed since you last saw him. Previously, he was disinterested and slightly curious. Now he seems forlorn and withdrawn as he kind of moodily and slowly makes his way back to his bright red daybed.
Sherrilyn will be very involved in this conversation with the entourage, the Frost Fellows. She would casually throw out, "You know, I have spoken with Winter at length, and I've yet to hear her say many negative things about her sister, Autumn."
Their eyes kind of go a little wide. That's interesting. It's rare she'll go 2 sentences without an insult. They'll kind of laugh.
Really? And what's her favorite one?
That his 2 sisters look like first ribbon prize pigs at a Honhopian fair.
Can't say I've heard that one. Strange. Maybe she's decided to start using different terminology to refer to her sisters.
You mean now that one of them's dead? Inara says from the couch she's definitely partaking from the champagne, trying to sit back and just enjoy the drama. And also seeing Sherrilyn in action as the Inquisitor, she's trying not to step in and is instead watching her at work.
It's a pretty intense reaction that spreads throughout the room. Kind of hushed murmuring as finally Gefjaluli, the albino bugbear, speaks up and says, "Which one?"
I don't know. They all look exactly the same. For all I know, that was Winter up there.
Sherrilyn was about to open her mouth and say, well, no, it wasn't Winter, but then she's thinking, this Winter is quite suspicious. So she'd say, yes, actually. I'm not really sure which one happened to fall upon the stage.
When you say fall upon the stage, what is both of your passive insights?
13.
10.
You see for just a moment, Sherrilyn, the Gefjaluli, the albino bugbear, his face, like he can't help but fight a small grin when you say fall. And his face kind of readjusts as he looks, he tries to like corpse and make it look a little bit sad. We have to see her at once. Everybody, let's go to the stage.
Yes, go to the stage. The bear has already gone, so we will stay and keep him company.
Yeah. Back out on the stage, Plato, you have Autumn still with you, having informed you of this impromptu finale. You hear the giggles above and all around you as these fake creatures seem to be playing games with Francis. What are you up to?
I am staring after the bear, who has left and gone into the other room with my party, because his behavior was not exactly what I expected upon seeing this individual. And some things are occurring to him now between his questions and it's Aoife. Was that her name? And Aoife's speaking of the performances. I think I am going to move over to Parola and sort of say under my breath, I unfortunately think we will need to get an arbiter involved in this. My belief is there was foul play. Not upon. Oh, Parola, you must know. Never mind.
He has kind of a blank stare. Of course, he is an arbiter. Do you think... Oh, God. His head just kind of goes down as it turns and looks at the body.
Yeah, I think my glasses flash a little in the light from the stage as a degree of warmth sort of leaves his eyes. Just for a moment as he looks at Parola and he says, but you are not excited for the press something like this will get you? He's asking a little facetiously.
Their parents died very young. I'm sure I left a terrible impression with my trove of young women in the front seat gambit, but they are like daughters to me. I never thought I would outlive any of them.
Daughters? That is a lofty thing for a man to say. If you are a father to them, you would have been paying attention. Any strange behavior from among them? Recently. Towards one another, I would ask.
Spring and Autumn always get along well. Winter's kind of the outcast, but they love her. They really do, but she's cast herself as a victim. But lately, there's been calm. I thought I became the only one fighting to keep Autumn here. Winter was fighting with me, but she seemed to stop this notion. A quiet acceptance these past few days. I doubled my efforts because of it.
Well, unfortunate to say, anyone who has spent enough time in Perian knows that the quiet comes before the storm, my friend.
He kind of looks down. What do you think? Do you think Winter would really kill her sister like this? For a job at the opera?
I do not know yet, quite. For if it was a job only, one assumes Autumn would be able to come back to us. But that is not the situation. Something still remains unknown. But like I said, it is not by chance that Autumn has fallen. Or not fallen, he says, to himself.
The Frost fellows, you might not want to be here. What happened here? You see a group of drunk, rowdy folks emerge from Winter's dressing room and begin to head your way, including a few tieflings, some lizard folks, all pretty rowdy, visibly inebriated, as they take to the stage, spreading out.
Plato is going to say, well, just keep an eye on her body. Make sure everything stays as it is. And then I am going to take a step backward and I think go and follow the bear, which I'm guessing will lead me towards where Inara and Sherrilyn are.
Yeah, it definitely does. You open the door to the room and find your compatriots alone with returned Winston.
Sherrilyn stands with the drink in one hand, waggling the finger of the other. You, sir, know more than you let on.
To the bear?
Yes.
Hypothetically, maybe.
You wanted her dead, didn't you?
His eyes go wide. No, of course not.
Not Autumn. Winter.
Plato, you emerge through the door as the bear says, I want no 3 of them dead. All 3 of them are important to me. I wouldn't wish this upon any of them.
Can I roll insight on that?
Yeah.
While you do, seeing Plato show up at the doorway, Inara's going to usher him to come sit next to her on the couch and offer him a glass of champagne. Does he come over?
I will come. Plato walks over. He crosses the space, but he holds his hand up. Says, "No, thank you for the champagne. I want to keep my wits about me."
That's fine. More for me. Just be quiet. She's in the zone.
That's a 10.
It's in the zone. Well, before we find out about the zone she's in, Plato pushes his glasses up his face again, and he's going to cast Detect Thoughts. For his part of this interrogation, he is going to be listening to the bear's thoughts while Sherrilyn asks the questions.
Sherrilyn with a 10, he seems to be being genuine, as he says that he only wishes well for the 3 sisters. In his head, Plato, you hear, how dare she? Keep calm, Winston. To succumb to anger is the basest instinct. You are above this. You have risen above this.
Sherrilyn, obviously someone as sophisticated as this would not result in murder, but I am interested, a creature such as you seeing a dead body. It has affected you quite poorly?
Precisely. It is precisely because this creature, this Winston,
So we go.
is so sophisticated that he would have an emotional reaction such as smiling at the distress of others. Why is that?
I did not smile at the distress of others. That was, Get Jaluli. I saw him do that too. He thought he was being sly.
You saw him do that too?
As in addition to you seeing it.
So all of this time that you've sat in here and listened to Winter debase her own sisters, calling them other lowlier animals, that sat well with you.
Of course it didn't, and I spoke up often. But I didn't know how far she'd go. You hear, Plato?
I hear you didn't know how far she'd go. That's was in the brain.
I didn't know how far she'd go. Yeah.
Gotcha. God, I bet this bear's wise. I could try pushing further on that.
You spoke up often, but it seems to have done little to prevent the current incident from occurring. Do you feel any fault in that?
He gnashes his teeth like a bear, just like an angry bear. He gnashes his teeth.
This isn't how I planned to do it, but this is the moment that Sherrilyn got us to, so it's the one I'll try to take advantage of. As he shows his more animal nature, I will push deeper in my mind reading to try and get the truth out of what he meant by how far she would go. So wisdom saving throw. Yes! Yes! Yes!
He is so rawly emotional, and you can feel it in all parts of him as you delve deeper into him. And the source of that emotion is that this bear just lost his best friend. As you relive just for a moment him going out of this room up to the stage and smelling the familiar smell of winter, lilac blooms and soft fresh snow as she lay dead on the stage.
Hey, this is Beck, and thanks for listening to our podcast. Theme music by Dustin Goddard. Cover art by Julia Folkart. For more of Julia's art, you can check out her Instagram linked in our show notes. Share our podcast with your friends, and we'll see you next time.